Hi, this is a very common question today that whether Israel-Palestine issue is a religious war or it's a colonial war. Many people say that Israel is launching the attack, waging the war to occupy the Gaza Strips only because of the fact that there are so many resources in the Gaza Strip, or they want to just remove the people from this area so that they can occupy more land and they can enjoy the resources occupied by the Palestinians there. That's why it is seen from the point of view of a colonial war. Again, many think that it may be a religious war as well. Yes, apparently it's not a religious war. Apparently, many people say that it's not religious war, and that's why many Jews also are supporting the Palestinians. If you see the demonstrations, protests held in different cities of the world, especially in the West, in London or New York and Washington, you would see many Jews are supporting Palestinians and they are speaking against Israeli attack. My question is, what we want to deal with today is whether it is a religious one. My point of view is it is quite a religious one. If it were not a religious war, things would have been much different. For example, if it not a religious war, both the people of Palestine and people of Israel could have lived there happily and they could have prospered. But it is not happening. There is enough land there for all the people to live and to earn the livelihood. It would not have been a problem. But it's a problem for almost 75 or 78 years, 76 years, only because of the fact that there is the religious division. And the division has been going on for thousands of years, 1400 years to be particular, or 1500 years to be particular. And those people feel it quite next to impossible for them to live together. So there are not so many people in Philistines there, and they could have lived there. They could have been mingled with the Jews, but both the people nourish hatred for each other. Many young people started to think that yes, we would live together on the basis of harmony, mutual respect, peace, equity. Yes, they thought initially for decades, but as they grew up, they could realize that it is no more a religious perspective. It is not so simple because religious issues always create hatred and malice among them. And that's why, in spite of so many accords like Oslo Accords or other accords, people have not been able to live there peacefully, and those accords were not fulfilled. Let me cite an accord, Oslo Accord. Yes, when Oslo Accord took place, it was thought globally that the Israel-Philistine issue would be solved, but it was not solved. Both of them contributed to not solving the issue. The far right Israelis thought that no, it was a bad deal for them, and far right Philistines also thought that it was a good deal for them. So both parties protested that they didn't want to give any concession for the sake of peace. Both of them thought that it was a compromise with the religious value. And that's why things have been going on in this way, that they don't like to compromise, because compromising with Israelis is a compromise with the religious value for the Palestinian Muslims. In the same way, compromising with the Philistine Israelis, Palestinians, is a religious compromise. They think that they consider it is a compromise of their religious values for the Israelis. So both parties don't want to compromise. It's not the compromise of resources. It is not the compromise of land. It is not the compromise of authority. Rather, it is a compromise of a religious value. Recently, a professor has said that people don't fight over land, people don't fight over resources, people don't fight over water or any other natural resource. Fight over people fight over imaginary ideas, because both parties think that the land belongs to them. And it is because of the religious ideology or the myth they believe in. So that's why, at the end of the day, it is not a war of colonial gain. Apparently, it is a colonial gain, but at the end of the day, it is a religious fight. And it is going on for almost 75 years because religious issues cannot be solved with logic, arguments, and data. And people think that it would not be solved very soon. So it would be naive of us to think that the war would end very soon. Yes, there may be some temporary solution, there may be some temporary ceasefire, but it doesn't mean that things will come to an end very soon. And that's why it has not come to an end, because the tension between the two religious groups, Muslims and the Jews, has been going on since 1400 years. It is the legacy of malice, legacy of hatred for 1400 years. So it's not about Israel, it's not about Palestine, it's not about few thousand square kilometers of land. Were it an issue of a few thousand kilometers of land, things might have been solved much earlier. Even Muslims who are not living in the country would not accept any compromise because it's about the religious issue. Even the Jews who are not living there, who will not be affected directly, would not accept the issue. And that's why, at the end of the day, the green parties and the bleak parties, and where we cannot keep hope much, is it's a religious war, outright a religious war.